The other day, my cousin had the nerve to tell me I'm too quiet. I had to tell her, I am not quiet. I'm simply not narrating my thoughts in real time. I then went on to continue internally running 47 layers of analysis and one past life flashback. Have you ever felt like you see the world a little differently than everyone else? Like you don't quite fit into the mold you were given, and maybe you were never meant to? Across ancient philosophies, spiritual traditions, and mystical teachings, it's believed that some souls carry a deeper level of awareness. These are often called old souls, evolved souls, or conscious beings. And interestingly, many of their traits are misunderstood as weird, too much, or even antisocial. So today, let's explore 7 signs you may be a highly evolved soul, not from ego, but from awareness. 1. You question norms and ask way too many questions. Highly evolved souls don't blindly accept reality as it's handed to them. Instead, they ask why. A lot. Why do we live this way? Why is this considered normal? Why does everyone believe this? Ancient wisdom teaches that true awakening begins with questioning illusion. When you constantly challenge societal rules, traditions, or belief systems, it's not rebellion, it's remembrance. Your soul recognizes that truth isn't found in conformity, but in inquiry. To others, this may look like being difficult or skeptical. But spiritually, it's discernment. 2. You talk to yourself a lot. If you find yourself having internal dialogues, replaying conversations, or thinking deeply about life, meaning, and existence, you're not strange. You're introspective. Evolved souls tend to live inwardly. They analyze, reflect, and overanalyze, not because they're anxious, but because their consciousness is active. In ancient traditions, inner dialogue was seen as a form of communion with higher wisdom. Talking to yourself isn't madness. It's your mind processing layers of reality most people never slow down enough to notice. 3. You're comfortable in solitude, even if you felt like an outsider. Many evolved souls grow up feeling like the black sheep, the outcast, the one who never quite belonged. But over time, something shifts. You realize you actually enjoy your own company. Solitude becomes nourishing rather than lonely. This is because evolved souls recharge inwardly. Ancient mystics, monks, and sages often withdrew from society, not because they hated people, but because silence allowed them to hear truth more clearly. If you feel not from here, it's often because your soul is more aligned with depth than distraction. 4. You seek deep connection, not small talk. You may find surface-level conversations exhausting. Talking about gossip, trends, or meaningless topics feels draining. Instead, you crave discussions about life, purpose, emotions, consciousness, and the unseen layers of reality. Highly evolved souls recognize that connection is sacred. Ancient wisdom teaches that words carry energy, and when conversations lack depth, the soul feels undernourished. You don't want many connections. You want real ones. 5. You take responsibility for your inner world. Rather than blaming others for how you feel, you tend to look inward. You ask, what is this teaching me? What belief is being triggered? How can I respond with awareness instead of reaction? This is a major sign of soul maturity. Ancient spiritual paths emphasize self-mastery, the understanding that while you can't control the external world, you are responsible for your inner one. Evolved souls don't seek perfection, they seek accountability. 6. You live intuitively, not for validation. You trust your inner voice, even when it doesn't make logical sense to others. You may feel guided towards certain choices, people, or paths without needing external approval. Compliments don't inflate you. Criticism doesn't destroy you. In ancient teachings, intuition was considered divine intelligence, a direct line to higher wisdom. When you follow it, you're not being reckless. You're honoring your soul's navigation system. Validation fades, inner knowing remains. 7. You practice non-attachment. Highly evolved souls understand impermanence. You don't cling tightly to outcomes, identities, or possessions. You allow ideas to change, relationships to evolve, paths to shift. This doesn't mean you don't care. It means you trust. Ancient wisdom teaches that attachment creates suffering, while surrender creates flow. When you hold life loosely, you move with it rather than against it. You trust the journey, even when the destination isn't clear. If you resonated with several of these signs, it doesn't mean you're better than anyone else. It simply means your soul may be here to remember and gently remind others that there is more to life than what meets the eye. Awakening isn't loud, it's subtle, quiet, and deeply personal. And sometimes it looks a little weird. Keep rising.